We previously discussed a couple times over the course of the past year that the governor passed legislation that this upcoming school year, so the 23-24 school year, districts across the state will have to have what's called a threat assessment team. We currently have various teams, crisis teams and things like that, but this is new legislation, and we've been, over the past year or so, looking into different ways to prepare our staff to be a member of those teams. Key members of those teams would be mental health professionals at a school, guidance counselors, a building administrator, a school security guard, or officer rather. And those are pretty much the core members of the team. So for this training specifically, we had a couple of our mental health professionals in the district kind of explore some different options in terms of how to put a protocol in place that would support us if we ever had to assess a student. We have a suicide screening process, and it could be hybridized to kind of be used in this manner, but they do have some specific tools that we can use to do this. So this one is called the Comprehensive School Threat Assessment Guidelines. It's really driven from research and a researcher in the University of Virginia. So the whole state of Virginia uses this model. It's one of the only research-based models that's out there. And our mental health professionals that were kind of previewing different options thought this was a meaningful tool that would help our teams if we ever had to engage in some sort of threat assessment. So there's two parts to the training. There is a module-based training, and then there's a live, it's really going to be a virtual live part of the training. So as you see in the proposal or in the quote that we have, first part is all e-learning based. It is basically kind of giving the foundation of the research behind the model, an introduction to the model, what is the threat assessment, and then the second part, which would be done after everyone completes the first part and passes this exam, is all situational, kind of scenario based. And the researcher, actually, Dr. Cornell, will be facilitating that training for us. This training is for 30 people, so we would get all the mental health professionals that we would have on these teams trained. We would get guidance counselors trained and fill in with everybody else that we could from the teams that we would be establishing for next year. So it's really a nice tool that we will have. In terms of threat assessment, the word threat, I don't want you to think that this is a process that we would do if we thought there was a gun in the school or something like that. This is more of we're concerned about a student and we want to make sure we can help this student never get to a place where they would want to do something like that. So this is a screening process that would help us and direct us, and there's decision trees on, do we refer them for outside mental health support? Do we have to put something in place in school to support them when they're in the classroom or in the building and things? So this isn't supplanting anything with the local police department or anything like that. That is a totally separate situation. If there is an imminent threat, then we have a process that we go through. It's quick, it's immediate, it's decisive. It involves all the key players. This is preventative and a long-term solution because we have students that need mental health assistance, and this is a good screening tool to kind of get that process going. So I wanted to share this with the group here because you'll see it on the board report, and eventually we'll be paying the bill, so you'll see the number for the bill. Mm-hmm. But it's a good training. It's something that we feel confident that if there are additional staff that need training in the future, we can cycle back and either have them do the online piece and then work with our teams, or we can go through this whole process again with them. So it's something we've been looking at for about a year, various different pieces. The state of New Jersey does offer something. It's not research-based. It's a bunch of photocopied kind of templates that you can fill in to create a process on your own. We felt strongly that we wanted something that was research-based, grounded in the whole state of Virginia used it. It has a history of being effective, and we've been having this on our radar for some time. We just wanted to make sure it was the right tool to proceed with. And again, this is all in preparation for this coming summer when we establish those teams and we roll them out next year.